My name is Colby Priest. I'm a secondary education history major. With a concentration in geography. And the state standard for my lesson plan that I will be explaining today is analyze how people it's World Geography 16. Analyze how people interact with and modify the environment to satisfy basic needs and solve challenges, with examples of access to fresh water, energy resources, irrigation, transportation, types of housing. And the second standard will be covered in the lesson will be World Geography 21. Explain how physical geography and economic practices shape the cultural landscapes of various regions. So let's get started. If you could live in one place on Earth, where would it be? Would it be on the beaches of Hawaii? Would it be in the mountains of the Himalayas? Would it be in the deserts of the Sahara? Or would it be in the cold, snowy Arctic or Alaskan forest? Well, you might not get to choose, but you'll choose at random today your new home, and you will get to present about it and present a PowerPoint presentation that you will be creating. Here in a moment, I'm going to group you guys into groups of 2. There might be a group of 3, one group of 3, depending on how many we got today. Might have an odd number, but I'm gonna put you in groups of 2, maybe one group of 3, and you guys are gonna come around up front, and you're gonna draw from a bucket right here, and you're gonna draw a piece of paper out of it. And whenever you pick that piece of paper, it's gonna have a place that's on Earth written on it. You're gonna go back to your desk, and you're gonna wait for me to pass out the guidelines for this presentation. Once everybody's picked their world region out of the bucket at random. The guidelines are going to be, it's going to have to be a presentation of 7 slides with at least 5 pictures you have to use. You can add videos if you want. And then if you use any quoted material, you're going to have to cite it. MLA format, APA format, does not matter. And also with this guideline sheet, it's going to have some focus points I'm going to want you to focus on in your presentation, like the climate of the world region that you are going to be presenting. The climate, that's going to be important. The culture, so like what the culture's like there, like maybe what religion's most predominant there, how the people live, what the economic status is of the region you have. Is it a third world country? Is it a first world country like we are here in America? Or is it like somewhere where things aren't as economically advanced as America? Also, I'm going to need you to focus on plants and wildlife, as well as geographic descriptions of your world region that you have picked. And once I pass out that guideline sheet and everything, we're going to make our way down to the computer lab. And once we get in there, you're going to open up a PowerPoint, and you're going to label it with the saved name, World Region Presentation, with you and your partner's last name on it. So it's going to be World Region's Presentation with Johnson and Clemens. That's how it's going to be. So world regions presentation, Johnson Clemens. That's a good example right there of how it would be. Once you have that saved name put in there and you have that PowerPoint started, you are going to begin your research. Now, use credible websites. Don't be copying and pasting. And any quoted material, remember, you're going to have to cite. And it's going to really dock off your presentation if you're reading a bunch of just copy and pasted material. And then once you, as you're doing your research, you need to plug into your PowerPoint, like your information, get it all formatted how you want to. You need to be sure you have 7 slides at least, and you need to be sure you have at least 5 pictures. I'm sorry, 5 pictures, at least 5 pictures, and you can have some videos in there if you want, but they need to be short because you're gonna have to make the presentation at least 2 minutes, but no longer than 5. And then once you get done, I'm gonna have a think sheet that's gonna be passed out, and once you do that think sheet, no, it's a worksheet. You're going to do a worksheet that I have with some questions on it. And that's just going to be just asking you some questions about your region and stuff like that once you've done that. And once you've completed your presentation. And then after you've completed that worksheet, you are going to, once you've completed that worksheet, you're going to find something productive to work on, educational something, read a book, do some classwork for another class that you might have due, just something productive that doesn't disturb any of the other students, no talking, stuff like that, stay off the phones. And then hopefully after a day or 2 of research and doing this in the computer lab, we will be able to present our the presentations on on a day or 2 of class at the end of the week, Thursday and Friday, hopefully. And then after presentations, there's going to be a think sheet I'm going to need you to create. On the think sheet, there's going to be 6 questions. And these questions are: number 1, how would you describe the climate of the region you presented? Number 2, how would you compare the region you presented to the region we live in today? Number 3, give 3 examples of some plants and wildlife that are native to the region you presented. 4, differentiate some characteristics between the region you presented and where we live. 5, what are some problems your region faces and how would you change them to improve your region? And number 6, what information would you use to support your region as a reasonable and desirable place to live? Now, you don't have to remember those questions. I'm going to have them passed out on a piece of paper for you to write down, for you to do them on, and you can turn it back in. And then also, I will be grading your PowerPoints based on a rubric out of 100 points. 5 categories of grading, which is going to be content, organization, requirements, oral presentation, and creativity. The highest you can score in each is going to be exemplary, which is 20 points. Second is going to be 15 points, which is accomplished. 10 is going to be developing, and then 5 is going to be beginning. So you could possibly get a 100. You could score 20 across the board. You could score 15 across the board and get a 75. But just be sure that you have everything that's required. Be sure that your presentation is going to be as long as it needs to be. Be sure you cite any quoted material that you have used. And be sure you don't copy and paste a bunch of stuff, because that's just going to make it look bad and it's going to dock off points, if I'm being honest. And be sure you have your saved name as what I've written it as on the guideline sheet. World Regions presentation with you and your partner's last name entered at the after World Regions presentation. And I think that does it. You're good to start your research. I will be walking around tending to anybody that needs to be helped. If you have a question, just raise your hand and I'll come to you.